This has been a really nice little lagoon, port, bay, basin, whatever you want to call it, here at Bahia Harbor, Bahia Honda State Park. We have a little bridge. There's just a few boats here. It's kind of almost like a private marina for us, right?
Yeah. It's been not that busy.
It's been pretty quiet. It's been a very 180 from Key West.
Yeah, it's a much more restful,
relaxing, beaching, sleeping, napping, walking. We are leaving Bahia Honda State Park. Here's Calusa Beach. Great snorkeling beach, a little rocky, but very nice. Here's the old railroad bridge built by Flagler. There's the new automobile bridge. It goes all the way down to the Keys. We'll be paralleling this for a while as we go north along the Keys. We're going to go back out through the little cut in the railroad bridge. And now we'll be heading out north to Marathon Key. We've got winds of about 5 to 10, temps about 83 with a feels like 87. And off we go to Marathon Key. Heading northbound! Forward! Ho! We are currently heading to Marathon, and the seas look very flat, don't they? Well, they're not. They're what we call rollers. So instead of those high, choppy white caps you see, they're just these rollers, and they come fast and furious. So it's been a pretty rocky road. As you can see, I'm not moving my hand at all. We are doing a lot of side-by-side, which is not fun. As a matter of fact, right now, this side-by-side isn't quite as bad as what we were going through a little while ago. It's less than an hour drive, but we're going slower because when we went fast, it was spraying up over the bow, getting us pretty wet. So we slowed down. And I tell you, when we were going to Bahia State Park, we were booming, but it was on our bow, so it wasn't as bad as it is today. So this is quite a journey, quite a trip. It's all about boating. It isn't always unicorns and sunshine. Here we are. We have docked at Safe Harbor Marina in Marathon, and here is our view. We are about to go into the Sea Turtle Hospital at Marathon in the Florida Keys, and we are going to go learn about how they take care of all of our sea turtles in rescue and rehab and release. And some of you may remember that from Sigourney Weaver saying that, rescue, rehab, release. What Disney Pixar movie is that from? Write the comments below.
That's called a CO2 laser scalpel. See how he's got his head in that pipe? That's because he's trying to hide. She was swinging in circles. I believe that she's going to be released. Now he was hit by a boat.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, poor pumpkin. Oh, look at the back shell. That's a girl. What's happening now? What is she giving us? Okay, Captain Dan has some food he's going to feed him. Show us your food. There it is. Is that the leatherback? Oh, look at this one coming. Oh my goodness, a feeding frenzy. Look at him. There you go. It's behind you. There's a lot of food behind you. Get over here. we just were able to feed these green turtles who will never be able to be released back again. It was really fun. It's really cool. It's a great tour. Highly recommend this tour. It's the Turtle Hospital. All the money goes toward the hospital when you come. And you get to see quite a bit of things here. And then feed them at the end. It's a nice tour.
We're having lunch at Burdine's Grill on the waterfront here. Behind me is an anchorage and a mooring field. And we're going to go explore Marathon Key.
We are heading to Boot Key, which is attached to Marathon, basically. We've just left our boat. We're going to go around Boot Key and into this little mangrove area, and they say there's a submarine down there. So we're always looking for an adventure and something to look for, so that's where we're going to head. And we want to thank our friends on Instagram and Facebook, SV Jaden Marie. So thank you for that tidbit. That's pretty cool. Okay, here's the little mangrove creek we found. It seems to be pretty well marked, so it's not a hidden place, but we're gonna go check it out. This is really cool. All right, we're heading in. No, so we're gonna go check it out. Da-dun. Oh, this is cool. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And there it is. We all live in the Yellow Submarine, the Yellow Submarine, the Yellow Submarine. Sing it!
Yeah, Ringo.
Not sure of the backstory of this submarine. Holy cow. This is not a good sign. I wouldn't go. It is like a graveyard. This is where the boats swim back to shore where they came from and die. Much like the salmon. According to the Orlando Sentinel in 2008 that I Googled, that submarine is nothing more but a homemade submarine built by a gentleman named by the name Dwayne Shelton. Put it back in these mangroves for protection. And one day he wanted it to be able to go up to 1,500 feet below sea level and just enjoy his submarine. And it is painted yellow, not because of the Beatles song, but because he got a deal on the yellow surplus paint. So our imaginations were really running wild with that submarine, and that is what it is. And it looks like it never did come to fruition for Mr. Shelton. But it's somewhere cool to look at in the mangroves on Boot Key. We're coming up around the point of this, and on the other side is Sombrero Beach. But right here, on an owned private island, is actually a home you can rent. It's 5,000 square feet, helipad, lots of, I think it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. You can rent it for nearly $2,000 a night. So your own private island right here on Marathon Key. Look at that. Check that out. Dan, you want to do that for a night or two?
I think I'll have to pass on that.
Captain Dan said, indeed.
He did not.
It's like our own private aquarium. We're seeing some, I think, brain coral and what other coral, Dan? Bighorn and lots of different types of fish and sea stars. Oh, it's lovely. It's just lovely. Looks like we found Sombrero Beach.
Okay.
All right. That is our destination for today. Looks like we did it. Yay, yes. What is that? I can't tell. It's some kind of animal. A crocodile? Is it a crocodile, Dan? I think it's a crocodile. What is that? I think it's a crocodile.
Iguana?
Wait, Jake. That's an iguana. Oh, it's iguana. You have terrible zoom. It's an iguana swimming across the river. Here we are at the Crane Point Hammock Park. There's a nice trail here we're going to walk out to the point. There's a couple of historical homes. There's a butterfly meadow and a wild bird center. So we're going to check that out. But one thing I did learn, I didn't know what a hammock was other than a thing between two trees that you relax on. A hammock is an area that's a little higher ground with very good soil that has many, many hardwood trees. So here we are on a tropical island, but there's going to be some hardwood, a lot of hardwood trees in this area. Hammock. Who knew? These palm trees here are called thatch palms. The Florida Key natives and Bahamians used thatch palms to thatch their roofs, hence the name thatch roofs. But to me, they look like little umbrellas. Look at that, so you can see why they would use them. I guess they're becoming further and farther less common, a little more endangered. But they're beautiful.
This is the historic Crane House from the 1950s, I believe. A wealthy Massachusetts couple that bought this area and decided to preserve it. In the yard here, next to the banyan tree, is a rather homemade looking boat. I'm guessing this was something that brought some refugees over from Cuba. There's a lot of that down here in the Keys. This ruins of this old boat were donated, and interestingly enough, they have MC numbers on it, like it came from Michigan. So the Crane House was built in '54 after the Cranes bought this property here, basically the whole small key. And it was an unusual design for the time because the living quarters were primarily on the second floor. The lower level was servants, and they kept their beloved Pyrenees dogs headquarters down below as well. And so, to quote Crosby, Stills and Nash, we're getting to the point, with a nod to Harry Nilsson.
Oh my goodness. There it is. This is AKA the banana spider, or the golden orb.
Here is another kind of scary looking homemade boat. Again, I don't know, Cuban refugees trying to get here maybe? But it's made out of styrofoam, wood, and baling wire, literally.
That's it. That's it. That's all that's in this.
It looks like it had an outboard motor on it, maybe. Robin is going to get a fish pedicure.
It's permitted here.
Which is something that they actually encourage here. Let's see what happens.
Okay, here we go. Hot, hot. You got to get all the way to the edge. Hot. There we go. Oh! Oh my God. Oh, I thought I'd get used to it, and I'm not yet. Okay. Oh, is that bizarre? All right, your turn.
That's it?
No, I'm staying here. Okay, now Dan and his scaly feet are going to be getting in. Oh, look at, he went with a different approach. Okay, here we go. They've all just now left my feet. No, they haven't. Your reaction?
Barely feel them.
Oh, because they have to get through this hard skin.
I got rhino skin on my...
Oh my God, they're eating like crazy off your heels. Oh my gosh, that's really gross.
Oh yeah, my heels are all scaly.
Oh, yeah. It is the most bizarre feeling. It's like little pecks, little tickles on your toesies and in between your toesies. And even Captain Dan has tried it. How you liking it, Captain Dan?
It's kind of weird.
It tickles a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's Captain Dan, Mr. Joyful.
My feet are not very sensitive. The skin is a little thick.
So I'm sitting in the museum here at Crane Point Hammock Park, and I'm looking at the founder's tree, and little did I know, no wonder we were treated like royalty. Dan has made a donation. Oh wait, Don. Never mind. Never mind. Old 7 Mile Bridge is made for pedestrians and bicycles only, so we're gonna go check that out. Woo, it sounds like fun. Oh, and it's a windy day. Hope we don't blow off.
Here we go.
Captain Dan and I are currently going to cross the 7 Mile Bridge, but not the highway 7 mile per hour. Old 7 Mile per hour bridge. I did it again. And there is the current 7 Mile per hour bridge. Oh my. All right, here we are at 7 Mile per hour bridge. Oh, come on. Hey, I gotta do an English accent. We all live. Oh, God, what the heck was that? All right. Jolly good. No, I can't do accents. Nope, that's just not me. Oh, God. Cheerio. Row, row, row your dinghy gently by the marina. We are not really rowing. We have a motor. And Captain Dan. From Marathon, Florida, in Florida Keys, we're the Ramblers. Okay.